chapter 5, the supply curve. So we have a case study already. It said Tom Shang is a chicken farmer in rural China. He has reared chickens for 35 years and sells them to people in his local community. However, twice weekly, he takes his chicken to a market about 15 kilometers away in order to boost sales. This table shows the number of chickens he is prepared to offer for sale per week at different prices. For example, when the price is CNY 5, he is not prepared to sell any at all because he cannot make any profit at this price. So we have this is what we call a supply schedule. That table is a supply schedule. It's a schedule, it's a table that shows the relationship between the quantity supplied and the price of the product. So we have the schedule. The first question says, how many chickens would Tom offer for sale if the price was 30? If the price was 30, he will offer 50 chickens for sale. Clear? Yes. Question 2. In table 5.1, what happened to the number of chickens offered for sale when prices rises? When prices rises, the number of chickens increases. Question 3. Why do you think sellers such as Tom offer more for sale when prices are higher? They want to maximize revenue. That's why they offer more. When the prices are higher, they want to maximize revenue, at the same time maximize profit. Clear? I'll go to the case, to the topic already. Supply. What is supply? Supply is the amount of goods suppliers are willing to supply or offer at a given price and time. The amount, the total number of goods suppliers are willing to offer for sale at a given price and time. That is supply. Is it clear? Yes. So we have the supply curve. A supply curve is a graph that shows the direct relationship between quantity supply and the price of the product. Clear? Then we go to the law of supply. I'm just summarizing it. The law of supply says the higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied. The lower the price, the lower the quantity supplied. I think that is clear. So that takes us to movement. Movement along the supply curve. Look at the graph you have here. This graph is showing movement along the supply curve. So when prices go up, supply will also go up. The higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied. That means the quantity supply will move from A to B. You see, when the price increases, yes, the supply curve will expand. The supply curve will expand when the price increases, but it will contract when the price falls. I think that is clear. Yes. Great. So we'll move on. And that takes us to the supply curve, movement now. So movement along the supply curve. What causes movement along the supply curve? Movement along the supply curve is as a result of a change in the price of a product. Like we just said. So as soon as price changes in the market, the supply for goods will also have a change. So if the price increases in the market, there will be movement along the supply curve, which will be expansion. And if price falls in the market, there will be movement along the supply curve, which will lead to contraction. Is it clear? That is about movement along the supply curve. They're going to shift in the supply curve. A shift in the supply curve So a shift in the supply curve is as a result of a change in the non-pricing factors, such as cost of production. So movement will bring about movement along the supply curve, which is contraction or expansion. A higher price will bring expansion, a falling price will bring contraction. That means there is a direct relationship between the quantity supplied and price of the product. But for a shift in supply will be as a result of a change in the non-pricing factors, such as cost of production. So for the cost of production, an increase in the cost of production, when there's an increase in the cost of production, that means firms are paying more to produce a product. So that will lead to a fall in the supply in the market. And as a result of that, there will be a shift leftward in the supply curve from S1 to S3, to S2, sorry. Do you get that? Yeah. Because the quantity supply would have reduced from Q1 to Q2. Is it clear? Yes. However, if there's a fall in the cost of production, will encourage firms to produce more. And as a result, the quantity supplied in the market will increase from Q1 to Q3, which will lead to what? A shift rightward from S1 to S3. Is it clear? Yes. That's about shift. So we have activity 1. They said the annual supply curve for steel in the country is shown in this figure. So we have it. So based on that, they said, what will happen to the supply of steel if the price rises from 500 to 750? If the price rises from 500 to 750, from 500 to 750, the supply curve will shift. The supply curve, the quantity supply in the market will increase from 10 million to 15 million. I think that is clear.
Yes.
Okay. The second question says, why are steel suppliers likely to offer more for sale at higher prices? At higher prices, suppliers are likely to offer more for sale as they will make more profits. That's why they want to offer more. I think that is clear.
Yes.
Right. And that takes us to fixed supply. Why is the supply fixed? They said fixed supply occurs when it is impossible for sellers or suppliers to produce more when the price increases. So it is impossible. You know, the law of supply says the higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied. But here, supply is fixed when suppliers are unable to produce or supply more into the market despite a rise in price. That is when we call it a fixed supply. In a fixed supply, the supply curve is vertical. Do you get it?
Yeah.
That is what we call fixed supply. The supply curve is vertical. Any question about that? So that takes us to the multiple choice question. There, they said, which of the following is true of supply? If the price increases, the supply curve will shift to the right. If the price falls, the quantity supplied will also what? B. Good. If the price falls, the quantity supplied will also fall. That's it. Question 2. If supply is fixed, which of the following is true?
The supply curve will be
vertical. Thank you. That's the answer for that. Yeah. So we have the case study for Fodder-Gill and Sons. Fodder-Gill and Sons manufacture a range of wooden products, mainly heavy furniture, such as large tables, benches, and beds. One of its profitable lines is park benches, which are often sold to local governments. Many of the Fodder-Gill benches are to be found in local council parks. The number of park benches that Fodder-Gill and Sons is prepared to offer for sale at different prices in a year is shown in this table. At 0.20, and we have it there anyway. So the first question says, draw a supply curve for park benches using the data in the table 5.3. So I draw the supply curve. So I drew the supply curve already. Okay. So this is the supply curve. I did the supply curve already. So at each price level, that's the supply curve. Then the first question says, that's the first question anyway. So the second question, it said, how many park benches would be supplied if the price was 110? If the price was 110, you would have drawn the graph, then figure out where 110 is. 110 is in between 100 and 120. So this is 110. You trace it to the graph, to the curve, and put it down. So it is at 900. Clear?
Yes.
And the third question says, if Fodder-Gill and Sons want to supply 1,300 park benches per annum, that's per year, how much would it expect to sell them for? 1,002, 1,004, in between 1,000, that's 1,003. 1,003 is in between 1,002 and 1,004. So we trace it up to the supply curve, then 150. There is 150. I think it's clear.
Yes.
Then the fourth question, they said, why is supply 0 at a price of 20? Supply is at 0 because Fodder-Gill and Sons are not willing to supply any benchmark parks at the price of 20. Is it clear?
Yes.
And the fifth question, it said, if the price of park, discuss whether Fodder-Gill and Sons could supply 3 times as many park benches. So here I wrote, if the price of park benches was rising sharply, if the price increases, Fodder-Gill would want to supply more. But it does not only depend on Fodder-Gill because there might be fixed supply where resources are not, where Fodder-Gill will not be able to supply more. Maybe because there's no resources available to produce more. or the number of workers available cannot produce more. That means the level of input is not up to that level that will bring more output. Or probably there are no equipment or machinery to produce more. So producing more is not only about the price. There are other non-pricing factors that will determine if Podagy will be able to supply more at any given price. Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
So that's all about chapter 5. Done. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Ciao, Azoy.